Hey guys, Randy here from Smart Dog School. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about dog training. Go figure, right guys? Well, we get a lot of calls and the calls are pretty similar every time they come through. And one of the biggest questions is, what style of training do you guys do? What style of training do you offer? And, when I get into a long conversation, and sometimes I'm trying to keep it simple, but in all fairness, there's so many people out there that focus on styles, on methods, on equipment, on I guess what you're choosing to do to the dog to either get them to stop a behavior or get them to do something else, right? So this is my chance to sit down with you guys and talk to you for a little bit about what we believe at Smart Dog School training actually is, and what I believe to my core that it actually is, because frankly I've been doing this a long time and I'm yet to be able to figure out that it's something different than what I'm about to tell you. So training in a nutshell, this is what I believe it is. It is simply controlling consequences to change the probability of future behaviors. And that's it. Now, I dissect that a little bit because I get a lot of questions when I tell people that. And when you get down to the nuts and bolts of what training actually is, it is all about consequences. Now, some people hear that word and they back up and they're like, "Ooh, consequences! No, I don't want to punish my dog. I don't want to correct my dog." And every time that we tend to hear consequence, we think of negative consequence because, well, that's how the world takes it. Every time someone says, "Hey, there's got to be a consequence for that behavior," well, they're referring to something negative happening in order to make you less likely to want to do it later. In other words, put you in avoidance, right? Dog training's rather simple, and dogs are simple to their core, guys. It is all of their behaviors that they do, they can be weakened or strengthened through consequences. And frankly, we have control over all of those. We have control over everything they like, and we have control over everything they don't like. So we can always control the consequences. Yet sometimes we forget that it's our job as the leadership role of the relationship. The one that, I say that word lightly sometimes because some people want to, take it out of context as far as leadership goes. But we give them their primary reinforcers, their food, right? I mean, their food comes from us. Their water comes from us. They don't have to work for food anymore. They don't have to hunt for food. So that's part of the things that we control, and that is the application of food, the giving of food. Whatever happened right before they got that food, I guarantee they're going to do it again. That's why they sit by their food bowl all nice and pretty and wait for you to put it in it, right? That behavior of sitting got reinforced. So before I get too far off of what topic I wanted to talk about, the controlling consequences, I say that's dog training, right? But when you think of dog training, when most people think of dog training, they think of it as, well, what the big box retailers sell. Okay, they sell a 6-week program, and they're going to help you get your dog to go into a seated position using some type of reinforcer or a lure or a bribe, whatever you want to call it, and it's food, right? They're going to help you get your dog into a down position. In other words, they're going to teach you how to teach your dog obedience. Obedience is nothing other than teaching your dog what you want it to do. So if you want your dog to sit, you're going to teach it how to go in that position and reward it by making it more probable that they're going to do it later in that same context, sometimes on cue, sometimes not, right? Obedience training is sold all over the country. And every time someone says you got to get your dog trained, that's exactly what they go after. They go after obedience. Well, I'm here to tell you today that Smart Dog School does not consider ourselves traditional obedience style trainers, meaning we don't just focus on getting new behaviors. That's not what we do, okay? And I'll tell you the reason why. You can have the most obedient dog in the world, a dog that sits pretty, a dog that lays down, snap on command, a dog that'll that'll walk with you in this nice, pretty, focused heel staring at you, and still be a jerk around other dogs and people. Still be uncontrollable on a leash in the house by 99% of the people that try to control him, or handle him. And the reason is because he's, well, I guess I could say he's not that balanced of a dog. He has obedience, but he lacks something very important that we refer to as behavioral training. Behavioral training, I said obedience training is teaching a dog what to do. Our understanding of behavioral training is teaching a dog what not to do. These are the rules. The rules are simply just expectations in your home, expectations on the leash, expectations in your car, expectations around strangers, around other dogs. These are rules, things you set and you enforce, okay? Structure is what the dog can come to expect. So if you feed at the same time every single day, okay, that's a feeding structure. If you put your dog into a crate when you go to work, and you get it out of the crate when you come home, and you do it roughly the same time every day, and the dog can come to expect that, that's a good structure. That's setting the dog up for success in every sense of the word. As you can probably tell, dogs thrive on that. They absolutely thrive on structure. Holding your dogs accountable goes into the behavioral scale. That's if your dog knows or has been trained to not bark when someone rings the doorbell, or bark in his crate, or hike his leg and pee on the steps, or whatever behavior, get into the trash, you name it, these behavioral issues, we hold them accountable by teaching them that's not what we want, and we control the consequence after it happens, meaning it has to be a consequence they don't like, or else they're just going to keep doing it. Obviously, they like chewing up trash, right? That the act of chewing up the trash has to be intrinsically rewarding in order for them to keep doing it. Well, at Smart Dog School, we have to tell them, no, I don't like that, and there's a consequence for doing that, and it has to be a negative consequence. Now, when I'm eating dinner, and my dogs are lying down on their place boards, and they're being good, there's a positive consequence for that. Tons of them I could think of. Number one, they're getting to relax and be with me. That's a positive consequence. I'm assuming they like that. Anything else, I get up and I look at them and I give them an attaboy, and I give them a little bit of a petting. If they like me touching them, if they like me being closer to them, that's rewarding. That's positive consequences. Some people say we throw food at them. Yeah, that would be a positive consequence too. I don't know if they keep relaxing or what, but it's up to the potential dog. But guys, I want to tell you the big difference between obedience and behavioral training. Behavioral training focuses on what the dogs really need, what works for them, and helping families succeed by fixing problems. We consider ourselves to be, as a behavioral trainer, more of troubleshooters. My partner's always said that, Shelby's always said, dogs don't come in the front door because they can't sit, or because they're having trouble laying down. No, they're having trouble relaxing, number one. They're having trouble getting rid of that anxiety and that stress that comes from trying to do things, trying to do things that don't work. When a dog is ramped up all the time, constantly getting told no, constantly getting in trouble, that's no fun for a dog. We want to help them. We want to lead them. That's where that leadership term comes from, okay? But I wanted to talk to you about that a little bit today, because it's ridiculously important to understand that when you go hire a trainer, when people say, go get your dog trained, right? That does not mean go to, a trainer either from Craigslist or from a big box retailer or even from these national chains. Heck, there's even national franchises nowadays, and almost all of them want to focus on this flashy obedience stuff. And I'm telling you guys, I've seen some very flashy obedient dogs from every walk of life, traditionally the working dogs, that are downright mean. They're just buttholes, okay? Not all of them, but I've seen some that, I don't even want to put on my leash. They're just so revved up and so crazy all the time, Yet when you start working them in obedience, they're flashy and sharp, but they're a pain to live with. You know, I don't care how many sits or downs your dogs can do. If it goes and jumps at the front door, tries to bark at the mailman all the time, runs all over your house, chews up everything, scratches up everything, goes after your cat or whatever the case is, these are things that, these are things that end up getting them killed. Guys, I've seen dogs get euthanized for very little things, jumping on people, for a matter of fact, not coming back when called, knocking kids over or hurting kids around the house. These are all behavioral issues. And dogs get put down for a lot less. I can't tell you the last time I heard of a dog being euthanized because it couldn't sit or lay down. Okay? So, just to summarize, huge difference between obedience training and behavioral training. Smart Dog School, we specialize in behavioral training. We specialize in providing solutions to our clients that have behavioral issues and they want it fixed. This is what we do, which is why when we sign up a client, it's not for just the 2-week period or 1 or 3-week period. It's for the longevity of the dog's life. We cannot help your dog inside of 2 weeks if we don't have some type of access to it later as well, if another problem arises. Dogs will do what works. This is a lifetime of work. You pay us once, we're with you for life. Okay? It's the best way I can explain it, okay? But dog training in a nutshell, again, I'll say that again, guys. It's simply controlling consequences. That's good and bad consequences. And by controlling those, we're going to change the probability of future behavior. Dogs always have a choice. We don't know if they're going to do it or not. There is no fully trained dog that's going to comply every single time. I guarantee you there's something else more motivating than what you're asking your dog to do. Okay? We're building relationships as we do this. Once dogs understand what we want, once dogs understand what makes us happy all the time, typically we'll reward them. And, well, we get to enjoy our dogs. They get to enjoy us. They get to be included in every walk of our life. So if you're struggling with a behavioral issue, if you're struggling with any of the issues out there that you want to fix, you want to get your dog to stop doing something, and it's something that you can't figure out on your own, even if you don't hire us, if you don't hire a trainer at all, give me a call, give Shelby a call, stop by the office. We have classes on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. If you want to stop in and see one, just, come be our guest. Stop in, see what we do in person, see if we can help you, and if you decide to become a client, great. If not, I hope we helped you in the time that we either talked to you or you visited with us. Either way, I really want you to get what's best for your dog so you can turn him or her into the best version of themselves they can possibly be, so you can enjoy them to the fullest. Okay? And if Smart Dog School, myself, Shelby, or any other trainers can help you out with that in any way, we truly want to do that. That's what we're here for. We're very passionate about what we do. We love what we do, guys, and we want to help you in any way we can, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it helped. I hope it may have cleared up some questions. And if it didn't, I'm very sorry. Give me a shout. I'll be happy to answer any other questions you have. And if you decide on wanting to hear any more about dog training in general or any other topic, let us know. We'll be happy to put another video together for you. So have a great night. Enjoy your dogs, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks.